Welcome to the AGHORI stories. Generally, AGHORI stories, AGHOR, Tantra, Kapalik, all these cults of Indian mysticism or Sanatan Dharma are regarded as very dark secrets of our civilization. But if you look at Tantra with a scientific approach, you will find that Tantra is really very close to modern physics. It might seem a jargon to you, but in today's episode, we are going to unveil the relationship between Tantra and modern physics. Starting with Tantra's contribution, I would like to say Tantra's contribution towards human civilization is immense. In spite of its rich encyclopedic literature and scientific cult, if it is still neglected, we live in the age of science. Tantra is not only a literature or cult, but it is also science. Modern physics and Tantra have come closer. The theories of physics that are close to Tantra are discussed in the article entitled Is Tantra Very Close to Modern Science? And that's what I am going to talk about. As per Sir Arthur Eddington, you can neither understand the spirit of true science nor of true religion unless you keep seeking in the forefront. And yes, this is a statement by Sir Arthur Eddington, who has studied Tantra and modern physics in a very close manner, but is not so popular in today's genre. Tantra is a prehistoric cult and an ancient literature. In spite of its rich cult and encyclopedic literature, it is still very much neglected, severely criticized, bitterly abused, ruthlessly ignored, and vehemently opposed, unjustly outranked, disgracefully forsaken, openly blamed, secretly cursed, and distinctly overlooked. False notions and misconceptions about Tantra make critics frown, scholars shrink, readers bewilder, researchers hawk, intellectuals lament, philosophers disgust, teachers shrink, students scream, and monalists curse. Real sadhaka keep mum, and pseudo tantrics gloat and roar loud about the Tantra. Pseudo secularists sneer over secularist clamor, iconoclast culture, and atheists snell, laymen simpler, and politicians uproar. You might feel this paragraph that it has been read from some book, but no, this is the real information that has come from my own experience that I have jotted down and I am sharing with all of you. If I talk about the Tantra's contribution, the very saying of Einstein knocks us at this moment. I am not especially clever or especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. Out of this curiosity, our journey into the domain of Tantra makes us wonderful when we are compelled to mark the contribution of Tantra towards alchemy, anatomy, architecture, art, astrology, astronomy, Ayurveda, bioscience, dance, economics, education, embryology, environmental science, ethics, geography, geometry, history, iconography, law, literature, mathematics, magic, music, philosophy, physics, physiology, psychology, religion, symbolic science, and also the yoga. Eastern thoughts and more generally mystical thought provides a consistent and relevant philosophical background to the theories of contemporary science. Tantra is no doubt a science. Tantra is also a way of religion. In this context, we may remember Einstein's greatest statement: science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. Tantra is a sadhana shastra with science. Yes, I repeat, Tantra is a sadhana shastra with science. Modern physics now agree to some postulations of Tantra. Finn finds peculiar similarities between physics and Tantra. Is Tantra very close to modern science? Our attempt is to show how Tantra and modern science express striking similar views and some concepts of modern science. To the readers who are reading or listening to our podcast, I would like to say that this entire episode has been divided into two parts. In this first part, we are just trying to cover the scientific ways and means where we are trying to connect physics and Tantra, while in the second episode, we are also trying to unveil the execution part of Tantra and how deep we can go with that execution part. That's all in the hands of the Almighty. But yes, we are there to try, and try. Tantra's notions concerning time and space, the nature of light and heat, gravity and magnetic attraction, the wave of theory of sound are strikingly similar to the concepts of modern science. It must, however, be borne in the mind that these scientific generalizations were based on intuitive insights, yogic visions and practices, and intense observation of natural phenomena conditioned by an ontological viewpoint and were not determined by experiments carried out in accordance with modern methods. These discoveries have direct bearing on Tantra and Tantric thought, its precepts and practices. As, for example, astronomical observations of Tantrics have a utilitarian value in so far that they are used to determine auspicious times for rites and rituals, and also are indicators of man's destiny in relationship to the varying positions of planets. By the way, guys, I'm not here to talk big jargons of physics, but I'm trying to connect this big jargons of physics with tantric rituals and tantra just to create a question in your mind that really is tantra very close to physics? And so it goes on again. Let's talk about the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is the idea that the universe began with a single large explosion and that the pieces are still flying apart. Its essential feature is the emergence of universe from a state of extremely high temperature and destiny. The so-called Big Bang occurred at least some millions or trillions years ago. The universe has no age, so that the Big Bang again occurred not at a particular point in space, but rather throughout space at the same time. According to modern cosmologists of Belgium, This universe is created due to the bursting of a great and original bindu. The bursting of a great and original bindu is again connected to Tantra. Even quantum mechanics of physics give a similar connect with Tantra. It says that the word quantum means minimum amount of any physical entity involved in an interaction. Quantum mechanics or quantum physics or quantum theory is a branch of physics. It provides a mathematical description of much of the dual particle and wave like behavior and interactions of energy and matter. When light is absorbed by some material, the energy of the material does not rise continuously, but in discrete jumps. Each jump occurs when the material absorbs a single quantum of light. Energy levels, that is, orbits of electron in an atom, do not have a continuous range of possible energies, but instead, that only discrete orbits are possible. The strange behavior is linked to the concept of wave particle duality. It is an outgrowth of the concept that all forms of energy are released in discrete units or bundle called quanta. Moreover, according to quantum physics or mechanics, electrons can sometimes move in erratic direction in an apparent whimsical manner which may be construed as a manifestation of consciousness. Here I would like to remember one of the greatest scientists and philosopher and a religious spiritual guru, His Holiness Maharshi Mahesh Yogi. Maharshi Mahesh Yogi has been the one of the biggest mentor for transcendental meditation, and he was very ahead of his times. And this person was the person who first started the connect between quantum physics and Sanatan Dharma, meditation, yoga. And when yoga, meditation, chanting of mantras, which releases sound vibrations, comes, the physics automatically arrives. Now, if we talk about the theory of relativity of physics, usually encompasses two theories by Albert Einstein: special relativity and general relativity. The special theory of relativity of physics essentially deals with the question of whether rest or motion are relative or absolute, and with the consequence of Einstein's conjecture that they are relative. The general theory of relativity primarily applies to particles that they accelerate, particularly due to gravitation, and acts as a radical revision of Newton's theory, predicting important new results for fast moving and very massive bodies. This theory shows that objects continue to move in a straight line in space times, but we observe the motion of acceleration because of the curved nature of space time. In this theory of relativity, Einstein postulates the mass and the energy are two facets of the same thing, can be converted from one to the other by the formula E is equal to mc square, where c is velocity of light, E is energy, m is the mass, c equals to speed of light per second, and m is rest mass of the body. Its mass is determined when the body is at rest. And there comes the main fundamental of Indian meditation technique because M is the rest mass of the body. Its mass is determined when the body is at rest. This was all about physics, physics, and physics. And you guys must be wondering, there is this guy trying to teach physics? No, I'm not trying to teach physics. I was just trying to build an introduction around physics and coming on to Tantra. Now, creation of theory of Tantra, as per me, is according to Tantra, Shiva has two aspects, Nirguna and Saguna. As the formal, he is transcend and therefore disassociated from Prakriti or Shakti. As the later, he is associated with Shakti. It is out of this that this Shakti emanates from the Nada, and out of the Nada, Bindu bursts and divides itself, and out of the division, there arises Bindu, Nada, and Bija. Bindu, Nad, and Bij. Bij is referred to the Bij mantra. Bindu partakes of the nature of Shiva, Bij is Shakti, and Nad is the relation between the two as the stimulator and stimulated. When Bindu bursts, there arises an inchoate volume of sound. This sound is called Shabda Brahma, which is Chaitanya pervading all creation and is the source of letters of the alphabets of words and other sounds which our thoughts are exchanged. From Shabda arises the Panchabhuta. The universe of moving and motionless objects is composed of Panchbhuta, or we can call it Panch Mahabhut, that is earth, water, fire, air, and either element. Vamkesh Tantra or the Vama Tantra says that energy is a wavy dance of kata, which is atoms. It is also called the law of indeterminacy of physics. While if the theory of relativity applies on Tantra, Tantra's yantra, mantra, and deity are the examples of the theory. I would like to go slightly in deep of these three aspects because these three aspects are the core strength or say core foundation of Tantra. Yantra is the development of mantra and a deity is apprehended in the form of mantra. Yantra functions as a positive physical object which enables the sadhaka to concentrate on the meaning and significance of the mantra he is utilizing. It is believed that when the sadhaka concentrates upon the mantra, utilizing the patrician yantra as a physical object, that yantra becomes an idol of the deity. And the physical part of this object begins to expand within the mind of the sadhaka. His own personality slowly gets transformed from the original quality of crudeness and becomes free from egoistic tendencies. A mantra is composed of letters. Letters and their combinations and words and mantras are originated from Kundalini, which is a form of Shabda Brahma. Mantra is a particular sound, body of consciousness. Mantra is a mass of radiant energy. Under vibration, small particles of matter group themselves into definite geometrical patterns and figures corresponding exactly to the quality, strength, and rhythm of the sound. And for the same reason, in Sanatan Dharma, the Panditji or the experts always say they don't recite any mantra with wrong pronunciation. Because if you start reciting a mantra with wrong pronunciation, then the small particles of matter group themselves into definite geometrical patterns and figures corresponding exactly to the quality, strength, and rhythm of the sound. So, if you make a mistake in chanting a mantra, the main idea or the main goal behind chanting the mantra automatically changes because you have done some mistake in chanting Tantra. You have done some mistake in chanting the mantra in that Tantra practices. So be very careful. And this is the scientific reason why mantras are to be chanted in a particular manner without any grammatical or sound effect error. If I give you an example, a very common mantra, the Mahamrityunjay mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhi Pushtivardhanam Urva Rukumiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mrukshiyamamritat. This is very near to the real way of chanting this mantra. But in India, we follow various dialects. These various dialects have various pronunciation in various local regional languages. So the same mantra can be also recited as Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mrukshiyamamrutat. Now here Mrityor Mrukshiyamamritat has been chanted as Mrityor Mrukshiyamamrutat. So there is a change in the pronunciation of mantra which ultimately disturbs the goal. Many of the people say that I chant this mantra regularly and I have not found any positive results. But from where are you going to find the positive results when you have not chanted the mantra in a correct manner? And so mantras are a very important aspect in Tantra. Now, Tantric deities have three forms as personifications. One is Devta Murti, that is Dev Murti. In symbolic diagrams, it is Yantra Murti, and as sound diagram, it is Mantra Murti. The sonic form of a deity is a mantra, and out of the mantra is produced its deity. The conversion from one another reminds us of the theory of relativity, and here comes the connect with Tantra and physics because Tantric deities have three forms as personifications. One is Devmurti, symbolic diagrams that is Yantramurti, and a sound Mantramurti. And the sonic form of deity is a mantra, and out of the mantra is produced this deity. This conversion from one another reminds the theory of relativity, which is one of the biggest and most important theory in physics. Some of my personal observations and conclusions while I conclude this first episode is that there has been a sheer avoidance of Tantra since ages because the invaders who entered India found that Tantra is science. And if we Indians are connected to our roots, we are connected to our science, the Vignar. You all guys must have listened or read about the Viman Shastra since Ravana's time, that is around more than 5,000 years ago. So there are also some kind of scientific practices were conducted. The building of Ram Setu is itself the biggest architecture and infrastructure development of that times. And so as the tantric practices. Unluckily, in current era, what we see or what is advertised or promoted as Tantra is not the real Tantra. I will not say it's a fake Tantra, but it's not the real Tantra because there is a limited understanding of Tantra in the minds of the practitioners themselves. Nobody thinks, nobody connects Tantra with science, nobody connects why they are chanting this mantra, what the effect of this mantra is going to happen after the chanting is over or after the rituals are performed. All the rituals in current Tantra or all the chantings have become mechanical. Also, the sacred books of Tantra have been damaged by the invaders so many times that what all that has remained with us are very small tantric practices which are known as todka in our local language. And todka is just a simple solution. For example, if you are putting your hand in a burning water, in a hot burning water, you are going to get burns. So, what you are suggested, please put your finger or the area which is burned by the hot water in a cold water for some time. That will give you relaxation. But is that the only remedy? Of course not. But still, we practice that remedy only. Or if that increases, we may visit a doctor and he will prescribe some medicines. He might do some surgery, but ultimately, the basic upchar or the treatment is putting your finger in a cold water, and that's it. And this is what all has happened with our ancient tantra. The todkas have remained, and they are also not bad, they are very good because they give you instant quick solutions. But if you want to understand tantra, you need to understand science, you need to understand physics, you need to understand physiology of human body. You also need to understand the psychology of human mind because Tantra is not just science, it is also a mixture of psychology, philosophy, spiritualism, and metallurgy too. This is Maulik Butch signing off with our first episode, Physics and Tantra. If you like this video, if you like this information, please do share within the people who are interested or who are curious to know more about tantric practices in context of science. The second part of this video is also uploaded without creating any kind of curiosity because we personally believe that we have enough of curiosity to know about this subject. So we don't want to create any fake curiosity in the minds of people so that they keep on waiting for the next episode. Namaskar. Om Namah Shivaya.